NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4. EC3 versus Velveteen Dream. Couple of guys who have taken some losses of late. Velveteen Dream's been around a little bit more. There's been speculation of Velveteen hitting the main roster several times. However, EC3 is a guy who he could be one of those guys that doesn't get a top of NXT run because, to be quite honest, he already is main roster ready because he's been on the main roster before. How do you see this one going, Alex?
The thing I always think about, and I know he's lost all the time, but Velveteen Dream can lose every match and still be a goddamn superstar.
That's a good point.
And EC3, I think that can use this to catapult him towards something, because now with the thing about Aleister Black's injury, and I'm not sure exactly if they've announced how long he's going to be out or whatever, but we have this progression from whatever happens. Who winds up being near the top of NXT coming out of this? 3 is a great choice to work up at the top because he's just got so much polish and can work with pretty much anybody. So I think that it'd be nice to see EC3 get the win here, if only because Velveteen Dream doesn't need it, because he's bulletproof. Like, he's lost amazing matches to Aleister Black and Ricochet and come out better on the other side than he went going in, even if after the loss. He's Teflon, that guy.
I'm gonna go with EC3, and he is a guy. I don't think that he gets that top of NXT run. I think they'll bring him to the main roster and make room for somebody else, and they probably should. Probably should. Adam Cole versus Ricochet. If Ricochet is healthy, I think that he wins. If he's still dealing with some sort of injury, I don't see how they would put the title on him. However, what NXT is like to do here and there is give somebody an early loss. That way you don't have to run with the undefeated storyline.
Right.
Throughout all that. However, Ricochet already didn't win his debut.
Yeah.
So do you want to run that, go right back to that? I don't know. How do you think this one ends up?
I think a lot of it depends on where it goes in the card. Because I think if Undisputed Era retains the tag titles, then you figure out. I feel there's no way that O'Reilly and Strong don't get involved. And hell, even Bobby Fish, he's out there running around doing promos and stuff with them.
So to be fair, we suspected something very similar at WrestleMania, and it didn't go the way, or WrestleMania weekend, and it went the opposite way.
That's true. But I do feel like they could get involved in some way in this match. But I just love the idea of Adam Cole carrying that damn belt around, because he just drips with arrogance. It's so right for his character. And I feel like, again, Ricochet could have an amazing match and wind up with a ref bump or something, fighting off 3 guys at once and come out looking amazing at the end, even with the loss. And he can move on from this and be at the top of NXT, even with a loss as well. I want all 3 guys in the Undisputed Era to have the belts at the end of the night. I just do.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat, I think it was John Baez, says they say it's a nagging injury for Ricochet. Yeah, he's missed 2 months. That's the thing. He's not wrestled in 2 months. I think Adam Cole ends up winning this. I think Undisputed Era beats Mustache Mountain, as you mentioned as well. Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane. I'm going with Baszler here. I think she gets her win back after last year's Mae Young Classic. And I think she moves on to Evolution to defend against, or not defend against somebody. That's where the Mae Young Classic is determined. But I'm sure she'll wrestle at Evolution. But I think Shayna Baszler wins this.
Yeah, no, I think Shayna does too. It would be interesting because I think that the way it works is that NXT Women's Championship is defended at the Evolution, and the winner of that match is the champion and will face the winner of the Mae Young Classic at the next takeover. I think that's the way that they said it was going to work out. Either way, it would be kind of cool to see Kairi Sane versus Io Shirai. Yeah, Io Shirai. That'd be kind of cool for all you Stardom fans out there. But no, Shayna, God, she is just perfect as this bully champ. She's doing such great work, and something I honestly did not think I would see. Like I didn't expect this from her when I saw her in the Mae Young Classic. I thought, wow, it's kind of a cool persona in ring. I did not know that she was going to be so great out of the ring at performing this character.
There were a lot of scoffs when Matt Riddle and Shayna Baszler jumped to pro wrestling. As a guy who covers MMA as well, there was some scoffing and some people saying, "Oh yeah, I bet that'll work."
Yeah,
it worked. It worked. Tommaso Ciampa defends the NXT Championship in a last man standing match against Johnny Gargano. I think that Ciampa sends Gargano spiraling further down into despair, Alex.
This is everything that I wanted it to be coming out of the last takeover. That Mauro said it in an episode of NXT where he said, he quoted the Nietzsche quote that if you're going to fight monsters, take care that you do not also become a monster. Like, and that's what he's become. He's just spiraling out of control. And I think I'm watching this storyline being told, thinking about how it goes back all the way to the Cruiserweight Classic 2 years ago. And I think to myself, thank God these guys are in NXT, because in WWE would never think to attempt to tell a story like this in this iteration of WWE, the main roster. It's so brilliant, and I can't wait to see where this comes out of. But I agree. I can't imagine Johnny Gargano beating Tommaso Ciampa as far as the storyline goes. However, I will say this. I'm really disappointed that Aleister Black got hurt, because there's so many storytelling elements coming out of a triple threat match where Tommaso Ciampa, where Johnny Gargano has to save Tommaso Ciampa from being pinned by Aleister Black because he wants the title for himself. There's all kinds of things you can do with that, and we're not going to see it because of Aleister Black's injury. So it makes it kind of disappointing.
I have somebody in the chat saying Shayna has no one left to face. What, mate?
Wait, what?
What, mate?
What? There are 3 or 4 I can think of. Like Candice would be a cool one. They're doing that stuff, but the one I want to see is Bianca Belair.
There's 2.
Give me Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler.
How about whoever the fuck wins the Mae Young Classic for one?
That's definitely happening. Like Io Shirai versus Shayna Baszler.
How about this? Whoever loses the Mae Young Classic, there's 4.
Yeah.
My God.